Hey, I have a short video today about 5 mistakes that you should avoid making as a bipolar reader.
Each time I close my eyes, I see another chain. It's one I can't forget, something I cannot break out of. I need a second skin, something to hold me up. Can't seem to get out of this hole I've dug myself right back in.
Jesus. My name is Zach. I have bipolar 1, and I'm a reader. I love to read. I'm a fantasy booktuber with added psychosis. I believe that reading is essential to my mental health, to stabilizing my moods and regulating my emotions, to keeping me fucking stable. Reading is integral, essential to my mental health. And now these 5 mistakes, did I say 5? I haven't even come up with the 5 mistakes yet. I have like 2. Hopefully I figure more out as this video goes on. Yay, this is so fun. I think us bipolar readers are wonderful, by the way. We understand every single facet of the emotional spectrum of the human experience because we've been from pole to pole there and back a fucking again, baby. So I think it's important that bipolar readers continue to read and do everything they can to maintain stability. And maybe you're like me and reading is a very important part of your mental makeup, and we don't want to risk losing our attachment to literature. I think that when like reading hygiene goes, mental hygiene follows suit. I don't like to do an in-depth rundown of my fucking past, right? But I've fucked up a lot of stuff in my life due to mania. I've been hospitalized because of my bipolar disorder 5 times, 6 times, and 5 out of the 6 times I was brought there in handcuffs. So I know a thing or two about fucking up when it comes to this condition. Now, 3 of the times that I was hospitalized for mental illness, I didn't know I had bipolar disorder until the 3rd time. And then after that 3rd time, like I've said in other videos, I got really lucky and they gave me lithium and Seroquel, and it was a pretty good match. Now here comes the first mistake, right? The first mistake has to do with medication. Because, hey, if I told you just now that I've been hospitalized, Baker acted, it's called in Florida, sectioned, it's called, I think, overseas, it's called different things in different places, but put into a psychiatric or mental hospital for my bipolar disorder 3 times before I found the medication that works. Well, that's only half the amount of times that I've been hospitalized. A huge mistake that I keep repeating is quitting my meds, stopping my meds. I just stopped taking them eventually. Now, when I first got the diagnosis of bipolar 1, I think I may have been rapid cycling still. And also, that was a pretty different time in my life, a very nihilistic one, very nihilistic period in my life. So while the medications worked, once I got feeling stable, I started to miss the void. I started to miss the nightlife.
Never felt worse in my whole life. Don't be alive, I have to lie. Take everything and keep it inside. I know I'm sick and I'm not right. I'm so fucking tired of living this life.
I started to miss so many things. So the first time I stopped taking my meds, I decided that it didn't matter if I was bipolar, or I deluded myself into thinking that everyone's a little fucking crazy. Or also, It's pretty damn self-destructive still. And I think that I was rapid cycling from uh, depression to stability. It's back to mania all over again. And I quit taking my meds so I can go out and be crazy and drink and do drugs and just fuck everybody. I went out and started being a complete lunatic again. There's no other word for it, which got me back into the psychiatric hospital. So the 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 last 4 years I have been hospitalized once a year for the last 4 years. Yes, that's the way to say it. Right now, I've been almost a year without any hospitalizations. I decided to take my medication regularly, be dedicated to taking my medication. I've also been sober for almost a year as well, because I think that sobriety and mental health are intimately linked. You can disagree with me about that, and it's not my place to tell you how to live your own fucking life. I just realized that for me, drugs don't help. Just about every time that I've been hospitalized for bipolar disorder, I wasn't taking medication. And it always, like, it's recursive and it's circular, and it kind of annoys me in retrospect, looking back, being like, bro, you obviously need the medication, but you stopped taking it because, oh, for a variety of reasons. We all stop. Medications can be annoying, that sort of thing. But the first mistake is to stop taking your meds, to think that you don't need them, or to allow like your self-destructive attitude to override and overrule your sense of personal responsibility when it comes to your mental health. Taking your meds, that's your responsibility. And I'm a strong advocate of personal responsibility when it comes to mental illness. So I have to admit that just about every time I've been Baker acted, while sometimes you can't stop a severe episode, a severe manic episode, like I probably couldn't have stopped being severely manic. I didn't do anything to stop it from happening. If anything, my actions provided jet fuel to my mania. So, mistake number one, getting off your meds. And if you want to get off your meds or switch your meds or whatever, talk about that with a medical professional. Don't talk about that with a YouTuber or in the mirror, or, don't talk about that with your own delusional, nihilistic thoughts like I did. Mistake number one, you stop taking your meds. And of course, as a reader, for me, when I enter mania, reading is the first thing that is compromised, for the benefit of self-destruction, hedonism, and just this kind of black hole of chaotic energy that comprises my mania personally. Mistake number two. I've spoken about this before. Be careful with what you read, or at least be very self aware of what you're reading. If you're reading the same kind of heavy, dark, nihilistic things, then that could trigger either depression or mania. If you're reading the same kind of like spicy, hyper erotic, hypersexual books, well, that could also give you hypersexual thoughts. I'm not saying don't ever do it. Do it, indulge. It's really fun to indulge, but don't overdo it. Make sure you have a healthy reading diet, just like you should have a healthy media diet in general. Don't spend all of your time on your phone watching brain dead fucking short clips, right? Don't spend all of your time watching the Love Island. Okay, you should have a bit of a healthier media diet, just in general across all forms of media, and books are no different. With books, make sure to incorporate some light if you're infatuated by the dark, and vice versa too. Like, don't sanitize your existence. If all you read is fucking marshmallows and unicorns, you should probably read about genocide and demons as well. But that's my that doesn't sound like great advice, but I think that bipolar people are beautiful misfits, and I don't think we should sanitize our existence in order to conform to a society that doesn't deserve our loyalty ultimately. What I think is important is mental health. And if we can maintain our mental health while maintaining our kind of like this shared, unique, like misfit fire that burns within all of us bipolar people, if we can like preserve that fire while being mentally healthy, that's great. And you don't preserve that fire by just dousing it with more gasoline, by reading more and more controversial material that could like get you into an episode, but you also don't keep that fire raging or at least healthy by sanitizing every piece of media that you come across, and especially not books. We need to be challenging ourselves still. I see so many bipolar creators kind of, I don't know, they put on this kind of fake veneer of stability or of like super positivity and stuff like that. Like, come on, bros. We know that that's a falsehood. We know that that's fakery. And I don't even know why that sort of emotional conformity is wanted. Uh, I think that bipolar people are very interesting people. And I think we need to remain interesting. We shouldn't sanitize our interests. I'm saying that we need to be very self-aware of the media that we're consuming, the friends that we're interacting with, like everything affects us totally, you know, more than most other people. We just need to be self-aware of how much it's affecting us, right? And if you need a break from the darkness, go for some light. If you find yourself being fooled by the trickery of the light, you need to incorporate some more darkness to sophisticate your worldview. You know, we need to be careful about and mindful of our reading diet. Okay, reading diet is a very sophisticated thing, and it's a very fun thing to curate. Mistake number 3: being too passive. This is something that I've realized about I think about a lot of people have mood disorders or emotional disorders in general when it comes to the mental health spectrum. We can get so fucking medicated that we find ourselves consuming art passively, which I think is anti art. This comes down to discussions with your psychiatrist, with your therapist, if you have one as well, about your medications. There's absolutely no reason that you have to live half-heartedly as a person with bipolar disorder. You shouldn't be over medicated. You should still be able to truly feel the gravity of the art that you're interacting with, of the books that you're reading. You should still have that sort of privilege, right? Without risking your mental health. We shouldn't be forced to read passively. We should be able to have the right kind of cocktail of pills that allows us to continue to experience a lot of different emotions, but safely. So this mistake is just accepting what you're given. I think that a lot of bipolar people do that. I think a lot of us are about self-punishment because the things that we do in mania are embarrassing and often shameful. And mania would be nothing if it weren't embarrassing and shameful. And while we will, I've said this before in a recent video, so it's fresh on my mind. While we will always be haunted by the ghost of mania, we don't have to be ruled by mania. All right. We have to live with the ghost of mania, with the future ghosts of future episodes. But don't consume art passively. If you're too afraid to interact with something, that's a different conversation altogether. And that's something that just comes down to you and what you're comfortable interacting with. Everyone has a different kind of emotional threshold that they know that they're able to interact with. But what I'm talking about is being so fucking medicated that you're functionally a zombie. It's happened to me. You just have to speak up about that. You know, take up space. Emotions are incredibly important. Incredibly important. And just because we as bipolar people have difficulty with emotions doesn't mean we don't deserve to feel as many of them as possible, because we have more experience with more emotions, more than anybody else. So don't consume art passively because you feel like you have to. Consume art dynamically. You know, demand. Demand the sovereignty of your emotions through the medications that you're taking. If you're not taking any meds, well, I mean, go back to rule number one, guys. I understand why you wouldn't want to take meds because maybe every medication you've tried has made you feel over medicated, sedated, far too sedated for comfort. But you need to keep trying. Keep changing milligrams until you find something that is actually workable. Like I said, you don't have to live half heartedly, but you also don't have to live like a ticking time bomb either. That's the false dichotomy. Just like bipolar disorder is obsessed with two poles, two extreme ends of the emotional spectrum, mania and depression. There's an entire universe of emotions in between that, right? And being over medicated to the point of being zombie like and being unmedicated and unpredictable. There's an entire spectrum between those things too. And you want to, once again, just like your moods, get yourself in the middle of those two things. Being bipolar, there's a lot of things that we have to regulate and stabilize. Our life is largely going to be about this endless quest to be stable. But it gets easier with time, at least from my experience. If you actually take your meds every day, if you actually communicate directly with your whole chest to your fucking health providers, and if you pay close attention to what you're reading, to how you've curated your bookshelves, those can make huge differences. I think another mistake that bipolar readers can make is forgetting that most people don't think about us. Right? Just in general, most people don't think about anyone being different from them. You can find it go to any fucking video and find any video of someone having like a public freak out or something like that. uh, like 70% of the time, the person having that public freak out is experiencing some sort of nervous breakdown, exhibiting quite a few different signs of mental unrest, if not mental illness. But all the comments are basically saying, geez, isn't it crazy how this person isn't exactly like me? People just forget these things. Everyone's not like them. They don't see the exact same universe that they do. They forget these things. So how that interacts with reading. If you find yourself in a book club, for instance, book clubs can be fun. They can be. Reading buddies can be fun. Book clubs, either in real life or online, can be a lot of fun. But you have to remember that the people that you're in this book club with, they have their own problems. And most of them are likely not suffering from bipolar disorder. Maybe there are a few that do. I would actually like to start a bipolar book club. I think that would be exciting. I just thought of that now. That's something I would definitely be interested in participating in. But just remember, if you're reading socially, that not only are most people not like you and don't feel emotions and don't see characters or life in the same way that you do, with all of your experiences, with all of your really intensely emotional experiences. Remember, we've been to both extreme ends of the poles of the human experience, there and back again, something that most people haven't done. Just remember that when you go to talk about the book, when you're reading the book, when you're communicating with the book club, they might not understand your perspective, and that's okay. That's perfectly fine. But don't for one second think that that means you have to conform to whatever the dominant thought or criticism of your book club is. Don't for 1 second think that. Because remember, they don't see things the same as you, and most people who don't suffer from mental illness, they are hardly even cognizant that there are mentally unhealthy people around them, that they live in a universe full of neurosis and depression and mania and delusions. They don't even comprehend that. And if I could extend this point to authors themselves, I think that bipolar readers were I think we're highly emotionally intelligent and unbelievably emotionally experienced. We are both of those. Well, we're emotionally experienced no matter what because of the experience that we have with every facet of the emotional spectrum. But we're emotionally intelligent beyond measure when we're stable, when we are stable. So when we read a book, we can call bullshit on emotions really quick, on facile representations of emotions very quickly. Just remember that, like, a lot of authors out there as well, while many will try their best in earnest, many more will fail to capture the enormity that some emotions truly possess. And one final mistake that I think bipolar readers make, and maybe bipolar people in general make as well. I haven't thought of it yet. I haven't thought of it yet. Hold on. Hold on. Well, what do all those videos say? Like, I don't know if there are like mistakes bipolar people make, but a lot of bipolar advice you'll find is like a mood diary. Obviously, take your meds, have a good support system. By the way, a book club, if you maintain it long enough, I'm sure it can become something of a support system. But I think that books are support systems unto themselves. So keep that in mind as well. What else do people say about bipolar disorder? All the coping methods. If you find value in the coping methods that cognitive behavioral therapists teach you, then that's great for you. I have difficulty taking them seriously, but maybe that's a mistake that I'm making. You know, disingenuously approaching certain coping methods, certain therapeutic efforts. Like, I disingenuously engage with some of them because I don't know, maybe I'm too self aware, ironic, too much of a shithead to really just accept it. I feel the same way about meditation, even though I would call reading meditative. Like, that's my meditation, is reading, sitting in one place, finding a zen or whatever. But see, I can't even say zen without rolling my eyes in disgust. I don't know why. I find meditation, don't want to say cringe, because that in and of itself is also cringe. But meditation, coping methods, yeah, this is a mistake that I guess I'm going to currently work on. Be open. Be open to ideas that you either find laughable or that you don't understand, because that's something that can maybe connect with, like, even those videos I was talking about where people don't understand other people and they're watching public freakouts. People just laugh. They say we fear what we don't understand, but what's more accurate for me is that I think I laugh at what I don't understand. Sometimes, at least, I ridicule what I don't understand, and I should really stop doing that. And maybe there's other bipolar people like me who think that I just don't know how to articulate it well, because it's not like I think I'm better than those who meditate, than those who do those coping methods when they're ruminating, when they're like, I don't know, having to make fucking Venn diagrams in their head or write down lists of positive things, or like, I'm not really into positive affirmations. It's not like I'm not better than any of those people. I never think that I'm better than any of those people. I just, ooh, 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 I think my mind is like too clever. Like, my mind knows what my mind is doing. My mind is like, I know you're trying to calm me down, but this is like kindergarten level tactics. I need to stop having that outlook. The final mistake that bipolar people make, and that I'm making right now, is ridiculing things that could help you better manage your bipolar disorder just because you don't think they're very cool. Just because they seem lame, just because they make you feel goofy when you perform those actions. Get goofy, get silly. If it helps you, it helps you. Well, fuck, I didn't know that I was going to be indicted in this video by myself. I think that there was some good points made in this video. I think there's some good advice made in this video. I'm Zach. I'm bipolar 1, and yeah, I think reading is unbelievably important, and I think we need to do everything that we can to continue enjoying our favorite hobby, reading. I think we need to do everything that we can to stay stable, to stay healthy, to stay reading. So, if you have some things you want to add, do so in the comments. What are some mistakes that you've made as a bipolar reader, or as a bipolar person in general, that that you see others making too, that maybe you think we ought to correct? Let us know. Let us know, because in this video I've talked about like personal responsibility, I've talked about perspective, I've talked about coping methods and medications, I've talked about commitment more than anything else. But I'm always learning. We're always learning as bipolar people more and more about us, more and more about emotions, and more about how to stabilize them and stabilize ourselves. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.